Hey you guys, welcome back to our channel. So this video I'm going to be talking about my pregnancy and the diagnosis that we got during this pregnancy and how it's a little bit different than my other 4 pregnancies. This video will just be me talking because I'm at work and Steven's at work, and sometimes we just can't find the time to just have a sit down talk video filmed because by the time we get home it's just so hectic. But I have some notes on my phone to make sure that I hit all the talking points that I want to talk about. So we'll just jump right into it. So as of today is Tuesday, April 29th. I am 31 weeks and 5 days, so I'll be 32 weeks later this week. I made it this far, thank God, such a blessing. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my first trimester. My first trimester, I had the worst morning sickness. I thought it was a girl because of that. My morning sickness was horrible with my daughter. But this pregnancy, it was the worst that I've ever had. I actually had to request actual medication to help with my nausea and my vomiting because I couldn't keep anything down. With that being said, at my initial checkup, so I had my initial actual in-office appointment on, how many weeks was I think I was about 7 weeks, 6-7 weeks when I had that appointment. And I let them know, like, I can't handle the nausea, like it's really bad. And so I had asked for a medication. They prescribed it and it was fine. I was taking it up until my next appointment, which was like 2 weeks later, because they needed to make sure that the baby was measuring exactly how he should be measuring, because off of my menstrual date it was he was measuring a little bit smaller, so about 3-4 weeks until my next appointment. Well, we get to my appointment, the follow-up appointment, to confirm his size, and this is with my primary care physician. I'm primary with my primary OBGYN, because my initial appointment she wasn't available, so I had a covering provider. And basically she told me that the medication that I'm on, I probably should stop because it has there's known studies about the defects that can happen in the first trimester when you take this type of nausea medication. So I was like, okay, cool. So she switched me to something that has 0 correlation with defects, and that was that. Let's see. So once I switched to that medication, it was actually a lot better. My nausea got a lot better. And I didn't have to take medication as often throughout the day to keep the nausea at bay. Then towards the end of my first trimester, which was like around Christmas time, mind you guys, my nausea was so bad I missed Halloween. Like, I had Halloween outfits planned, we had our costumes. I missed Halloween because I was just so nauseous I could barely stand. I missed Thanksgiving. I couldn't really eat anything or keep anything down for Thanksgiving. So when Christmas came, I was like, ooh, I'll be like at the end of my first trimester, I'll have a little bit more energy, I'll be able to eat, we make gumbo for Christmas, so I'll be able to eat gumbo. I was so excited, and then me and my husband came down with the flu. I was so hurt. If you have experienced morning sickness and you are typically the person that comes out of the morning sickness at the end of their first trimester, I know you can relate how hurt I was to be sick with the flu of all things at the end of my freaking first trimester. So I didn't even get to enjoy coming out of my first trimester because I was just so sick. Like Christmas Day, we were like wrapped up with the kids trying to get good memories because we had the flu. It was amazing, honestly. So fast forward to my second trimester. Things got a little hectic for us. We moved out of where we were living. We were trying to, help family and things. And needless to say, we've been kind of trying to recover since then. Kids had to switch schools a couple times. It's just been really hectic. It was really hectic in my second trimester. So I missed my 20-week scan. the initial one because of how hectic our schedules was. And then I had to reschedule. I think I rescheduled it a week later, and then they canceled the appointment. And so then the third time I got it rescheduled, it was perfectly fine. We went in, we had it done. A couple days later, I got a call, which I always know when you get a call after anatomy scan, it's never really good. And not saying that it's not good news, but the likelihood of them having good news is very slim. Like I said, this is my 5th pregnancy, so I know once they call, it's like, oh crap. So basically that's when they told me that our son, it looked like there was a possibility that he had a bilateral cleft lip and a bilateral cleft palate. And for a while I was like, oh, okay, it's fine. They're not positive that that's what they seen. So we ended up having an appointment within the week to go see the high risk OB and for them to confirm, well, what I thought they were confirming. So we got there, they did the appointment and they confirmed it. And, I was like, really, I won't say I was sad, but it kind of hurt my feelings a little bit because I didn't understand why it happened, why he had a bilateral cleft lip and cleft palate. When I was talking to the high risk OB, she was like, oh, did they not tell you what this appointment was for? And I said, well, they told me that it was to confirm it, like they weren't sure. And she was like, oh no, it's confirmed on the anatomy scan. We just need to get more in-depth detail about what it is, like how it's formed. And so that made me even more sad because I felt like they were trying to cushion the blow a little bit, but I felt like it gave me a false hope. So after that appointment, things kind of moved pretty fast. We got a caseworker for the surgeons in our area. We had a lot of telephone appointments, like literally back to back, like they were scheduling appointments for me as they were already talking to me on the phone, because that's how quickly they wanted to get in contact with me, which is great on our healthcare system. By far, that was the best process I could have ever been a part of, because even though the appointments were like a week apart, my brain was already spiraling. I was doing a lot of Google research. I became a YouTube MD because of how often I was just researching it, and I was starting to freak out a little bit. I had booked a 3D 4D ultrasound appointment, our first one that we did, so that I could see how bad it was, or I don't want to say how bad it was, but so I can see the severity of the situation and like what he kind of wanted to look like, because I didn't want to give birth and then be surprised with anything. So I had that done. I was able to text the video to my caseworker so she could show the surgeon. She's like, this is really great. So that's kind of like where we were. And then, they were able to talk me off the ledge and let me know that, we can't really, there's nothing we can do right now, right? Baby boy is really, really healthy. The only thing is that he's going to have these surgeries. And so that helped clear my mind and helped put my stress at bay, because as long as his heart and his lungs and, he has all his fingers, he has 2 eyes, he has 2 ears, like as long as all of that is fine, then I'm okay with it. This is cosmetic, that's kind of where my thought process was regarding this whole situation. So now we are in my 3rd trimester. We're almost done. So happy. I'm so heavy. And we did the repeat 3D ultrasound, which that video will be dropping after this one, which basically is like we paid for the package for the initial one, and then it's they call it a double take, so it's 50% off of the original package that you got. So we was like, what the heck, let's go do it. I wanted to see his face again, because I'm not able to make a 32-week appointment, so I won't see my actual OB until 36 weeks, until after I'm on maternity leave. So I didn't want to miss out on seeing his face again. I have an appointment on the day of my graduation, the morning of my graduation. I have an appointment with the surgeon to talk about the next steps regarding I guess after birth, and maybe booking the appointment to have his first surgery. But yeah, that's pretty much this pregnancy. That's why this pregnancy is so much different than my other ones. In regards to how healthy he is, it's all the same. He has a wonderful heartbeat every time we go. It's just after he is earthside, there's going to be a lot of appointments and a lot of new techniques that I have to learn. You know, I'm used to being able to pop a pacifier in my baby's mouth to help soothe them, and this time I won't be able to do that because of his cleft palate. Depending on the severity, like the cleft palate, we won't know. Even if we try to look at an ultrasound, we won't know until he's here how severe it is. So he may be able to get a cleft palate. I'm not sure. I mean, excuse me, he may be able to use a pacifier. I'm not sure. It all depends on how the palate formed, I guess, so to speak. But we're just taking it day by day. We're so excited for him to come. The only thing I'm anxious about is how our kids are going to react to seeing him. I still have to do research on how to introduce your children to babies with the cleft lip, and how to explain to them, you know, even though he looks different, he only looks different by a little bit. And then you know, just really taking it day by day and trying to enjoy the rest of this pregnancy and gearing up for postpartum. But that's it for today's video. That's how we found out the diagnosis. That's how this pregnancy has been going. I'm going to see if Steven actually wants to do like a dad's version of this, like his take on it, because I think it's really important to get the dad's side and viewpoint of things, because just as much as I'm going through it, he's going through it, and he has to analyze and still be dad. So yeah, if he does decide to do it, you guys will probably get it earlier next week. But you guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. We are growing. We're physically growing, and we're also growing on YouTube. We want you guys to come along for the journey. We are really just a regular family with a lot of stressors and blessings, and you know, we want to bring you guys we want to bring you guys along for the ride. So go ahead and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. How's your pregnancy going if you are pregnant? If you know anybody with a cleft lip or cleft palate, or if you had a cleft lip and cleft palate, with some advice that you would give. I'm really interested in hearing it. But until then, I'm gonna go ahead and clock back into work, and I'll see you guys in our next video.